Hello, and welcome back to our Hygiene Passport series. This is episode 2 and part 2. Our target is to pass the Hygiene Passport exam. This time, we will cover cleaning and disinfection, waste management, pest control, date labeling, own checks, plans, and also food premises design and how do we report for food poisoning. So let's jump to topic straight away. Cleaning and disinfection, they are compulsory for preventing contamination. They keep equipment in a good condition, support safety, and of course job satisfaction, and on top of that company image. Clean surfaces, clean dishes, and cleaning plans, those are the essentials and the core. Where does the cleaning aim? It aims to remove dirt and food residues and same time to reduce microbes. What about the cleaning results? The cleaning results, they depend on the temperature and chemicals we use and of course the mechanical action we add to the process. Basically, the cleaning process goes in 5 steps. First, we remove loose dirt. Then pre-wash the surface with cool water. Idea of pre-washing is to leave the food and protein before it settles in. Next, we wash the surface with suitable detergent. Then rinse with hot water, and rinsing with hot water it reduces microbes and speeds up the drying. And then finally, we dry the surface carefully to remove the extra moisture, whatever was left. What can we do after cleaning? We can disinfect the surface. Idea of disinfection is to reduce microbes, but it's important to remember that it does not sterilize the surface. Thermal disinfection over 85 degrees, that one can be used in institutional kitchens, like steamers. Here's a tip. We have to rotate disinfectants regularly, so microbes wouldn't adapt. Then about equipments. Cleaning equipment really matters. And what kind of tools we can use and we should pick? We should always pick easy to clean tools. And then we should also color code different zones we use these tools. And then of course we replace the worn equipments when it happens. How do we store about cleaning equipments? We don't store mops on the floor and we have to change rags regularly. Then about the dishwashers. Those we have to check daily. We have to check that how they function, what's the situation with detergent, rinse aid, are the sieves open, and same applies for nozzles. Then when we are done, we always leave machines open that they can dry. Then little tip for the professional kitchens when choosing materials, we always should prefer plastic and steel over wood. Then from cleaning to waste management. Couple of words about bins. Bins, they have to be waterproof and intact with lids and also easy to clean. That's the basic requirement. When we are dealing with waste, there always has to be a written plan. That plan includes collection, sorting, transporting waste, how do we recycle, then responsibilities listed, when we empty it, and then of course cleaning. General rule is that when the bin gets full, you empty it. But that one has to be done at least once a day. When you finish the day, then you take the bins out and clean them. Then, where do we store waste? It always has to be kept away from food and raw materials. Completely separate area. And then, when we are dealing with waste, good rule is that we always wash hands after handling waste. Then, if our clothes get dirty, we have to change clothes before we can return to food work. The law is pretty simple, and idea of it is to reduce waste and the effects from the waste. Then from waste to pests. That's a vital part. And best way to control pests is prevention. How we can prevent? What kind of action we can take? First, we can keep loading and storage areas clean and tidy so it doesn't attract animals. Then, when we get delivery, we always inspect the goods because we can't rely that everything is in a good condition when they come. Then area has to have a good ventilation. Then we keep dry stores below 18 degrees. We don't store food on the floor. Then there is a good simple rule. First in, first out stock rotation. Then everything gets used. The doors and windows, of course, has to be closed, and then we need to have working insect traps around. That's also a good way to see what happens when we are not there. To inspect the situation in the morning when you come, you can see what happened overnight. What about pets? They are not allowed in the food premises, except guide dogs and assistance dogs, of course. Uh, Sometimes I have seen questions that what are the most common pests in the food production? Here is a couple to list. We have flower beetles, flower moths, cockroaches, of course, silverfish, flies, ants, birds, mice, and rats. That's a long list, but they are quite regular and common. Then what we have next? Next, we have a date labeling. Two different dates on the screen. We have a use by dates, which means safety for perishable foods. After this date, we can't use that item. We can't sell it, we can't eat it, it's trash. Then we have a second one, best before date. And that one means quality. Product might be still usable if they look, smell, or taste acceptable. Then we can use it. But remember, if that one is stored in too warm temperatures, then use by date is no longer reliable. We have to double check the product. Then one another list out of the screen we have here, that special rules apply to minced meat preparation in stores and ground liver, and those can be sold only on the day of preparation and the next day. That's the limit. Then there's own check plans. Every food business must have one. What does this plan cover? It covers hazards, risks, critical control points, for example. Then on top of that, it includes monitoring processes like for incoming goods, temperatures, and then general cleanliness level. It also defines correct actions when results are out of limits, that when we notice that something is out of order. Then there is also explained staff training, personal health information is attached, rules for waste management, how do we clean, and then the very important part, a feedback system, how to take action if we notice that something is not okay. Then all records, those which we control and check, they must be recorded. And we have to keep logs at least 1 year. Then when we created the plan when the business started, we also have to remember that it needs to be updated if the operation changes or regulation changes. And then, of course, we send one copy to local authorities. Now we have a lot of paperwork. We have gone through waste management plan. Now we have a own check plan. How to use this? We always create a well-designed plan. Idea is that it saves time and our resources, and then it provides tools for quick fixes if we notice that something is not okay. That's the idea of them. Then a couple of words about food premises and their design. This is also regulated. And in a food preparation areas, we always need to have adequate space, ventilation, temperature control, and then of course good light. What else we need to have in facilities? There must exist a hand washing point, a place to wash equipments and utensils. basically a washing machine or similar system. Then floors and surfaces, they must be easy to clean material and properly sloped to drains. Toilets can't open directly into food areas, and all the equipment has to be kept clean and disinfected. In a complex places like hospitals, they need to have separate areas to reduce a cross contamination, but that's not the usual case we have here. Then, final part of the series today is how do we report for food poisoning? Now we need to remember the definition of food poisoning epidemic. That's when at least two people get sick from the same food. If it happens, we have to report the case straight away to local food and health authorities. Then we neither can discard the suspected food. That one has to be stored for laboratory testing. When we have a big operation, we have to keep frozen food samples from every batch we make at least 1 to 2 weeks. Then we can discard it. And best or most important, that we remember that the quick reporting, that one prevents further illness. Then we have time to react and take action. And here's a recap of the day. Just a couple of things to remember. That we clean and disinfect properly. We manage waste and pests proactively. We read date labels correctly. Remember those two different use cases. Also some mix-ups in an exam. Then all the premises are designed hygiene first. If outbreak happens, we report fast. That's actually today's topic. Thank you for watching it, and there is a new one coming. We will prepare for the Hygiene Passport test together. See you next time, and remember to subscribe.